All right, I see several of you have already signed on. We had 7 people RSVP for this session, so I'm going to wait. There are 4 of you right now, 5 of you right now. So we're going to give it just a couple minutes, and then we're going to get started. Hoping this doesn't last beyond 4 o'clock. We're going to run through the registration system, some updates, and then we've got some things to help you out at your district contest as well. So just bear with me for a few more minutes as we try to get some extra people into this call. Looks like we're gaining people and losing people a bit. If you're having issues, you can text me at 573-220-9801, and we'll try to get whatever issue resolved for you so that you can hear this. But again, if you're having technical difficulties, these are recorded and they're posted up to YouTube, so you can always watch them after this session. And then there's also another session on Wednesday that we're going to do. So you can always tune into Wednesday's session as well. So we're up to 5 viewers right now. And we're up to 7, which is the number that RSVP'd. I think there were a couple other people who had interest in coming to today's, but they were going to be just a bit late. So no worries. If somebody on this call would be so kind as to text me and let me know that you can hear me so that I don't spend the next hour talking to nobody, that would be awesome. Again, number's 573-220-9801. Got a text from Debbie. I can be heard. So we have to do Hangouts on air because there are too many people, and a regular Hangout can only have 10. So we're not able to actually see each other and interact on these calls. So you'll have to text me questions, or you can always give me a call afterwards or shoot me an email, and I'm happy to go over anything in depth with you. But unfortunately, I cannot see you all on these kind of calls. And Jill is here as well. So we've got 8 people, so we're going to go ahead and get started because I know a lot of you probably would love to go home. So I will go ahead and get started. We're going to run through a PowerPoint for those of you who were with us last year. This is going to be a bit familiar to you, but we did update a few slides. So I'm going to go through this with you. Feel free to text me a question if you've got one, or again, you can always message me afterwards or give me a call. So welcome to our first winter LCA meeting. Jumping slides. A couple quick membership updates for you. FBLA membership as of 2:30 today was at 11,308. We have 224 PBL members, 414 middle level, 60 PD, and as an organization, we're at 12,006 members. The goal this year is to hit 16,000, but of course the primary focus is to get FBLA membership at 15,008. That would hit the record high number that we had in 2010. So it was the highest membership we ever had as an organization. So we're really, really pushing for that. We've got a whole lot of stuff kind of already in the works for state that we're planning on doing to celebrate that membership. So do continue to encourage your chapters to up their membership. I will say that of our chapters that have grown, we've increased 1,731 members, which is higher than at this same time for this call last year. So we are doing well. In terms of membership, we've got a lot of growth, and you'll see that on the next screen here. In terms of new and reactivated chapters, 2 FBLA have reactivated. We've got 3 more in the works. A lot of that is through District 9. So Teresa Meyer, I don't know if you're on this call, but kudos to you. We brought the Rockwood School District back on board, which is one of the top 10 school districts in the state. So we're really excited to bring them back on board. And we've got a few more chapters as well throughout Missouri. We're kind of at a point where we've saturated most of the market in FBLA, but there are always a few schools that are kind of holding out on us that we can try to bring on board. PBL, we've added 3 new chapters, and middle level, seeing impressive growth, is up 12, which is really, really crazy. It's definitely our fastest growing division. Last year we had 465 members. We already have 414, and nowhere near half of the middle level chapters have even reported membership yet. So you can see what's going to happen. That's probably going to be up several hundred in middle level, which is very, very exciting for us as an organization. Here is a breakdown of the different memberships within our districts. Currently, everybody is still down from last year's numbers, but that is okay. It is still early on. District 14 is doing the best, only 4 members shy. They still have 2 chapters that haven't reported membership, and one of those has over 60 members in it. So we have a feeling that District 14 is going to do very, very well in terms of membership, and you can see that with other districts as well, like 10, 11, 15, 17, that are all just, 07 as well, that are all just down a little bit right now and still have plenty of chapters to report. We've seen some great growth in 11. Lebanon actually has the highest growth of any chapter in the state right now. Carl Junction in 17, very similar in terms of growth. So we're having a lot of success in membership this year. I don't know if SMLC played a factor in that. We'll try to gather some data as we can, but we're just really excited to see more and more students wanting to be involved and kind of take the next step in their education and join a CTSO. A few conference updates. The Show Me Leadership conferences were an awesome success. We had over 1,400 students and advisors between our 3 locations, and that was really, really great. Thank you all for bearing with us as we had to adjust the agenda and schedule at every single park due to higher numbers than anticipated. We budgeted around 150, 200 at each park and had way more than that at every single one moment. Jill has texted me that she can only see my first screen. If anyone else is stuck on the first screen, that would be, yeah, everybody is. Can we see it now if I do it this way and don't blast it up full screen? Probably, hopefully, maybe. We're going to try it this way. That might be a little bit easier for everybody. I don't know if the full screen isn't casting up to everybody. I will cut back to the membership if you were curious where you stood right now. I did send you all a membership breakdown just before I left work today so that you could look and see exactly which chapters had not reported their membership yet. And it looks like everybody can see the slides now. So full screen does not work. All right. So back over to Our SMLCs, like I said, it was awesome, awesome success. We're really, really excited, and we're going to continue those. All of the parks have agreed to adjust accordingly and are planning on much, much higher numbers. Worlds of Fun has actually blocked out every other organization and event on October 1st for us, so we will be the only group at the park. It will still be open to the public, but it'll mean we'll get the full attention of the staff so that we can have increased tours. Six Flags will be on the 8th. We're working on getting everybody into the park actually early to check out rides, which is something we didn't get to do this past year, but we're hoping that happens. Silver Dollar City was our lowest attended park, but we are going to continue hosting at Silver Dollar City as well. Our numbers definitely were higher than we anticipated there. So we're going to make it through and add a few more activities at Silver Dollar City. ELC, we do not have a date and time for yet, or a location. We are working with Mizzou. They were happy to host us. We just have to change the schedule around a little bit to fit them and their summer school schedule. It will likely still be that last week of July. The second I get information from Mizzou, once they've got those classes scheduled in their rooms, we'll be able to get a date out for all of our advisors. So do expect that we'll be back in Columbia no matter what, but we are hoping to be back at Mizzou's campus and adding some additional activities through Mizzou for our students. Some additional conference updates in regards to the State Leadership Conference. We have added not only a senior banquet, but we actually met on Saturday and got everything organized where we'll have a junior breakfast as well. So when you register for state, we'll actually be registering students at the same time for our junior breakfast and our senior banquet. And those are great opportunities for our students to network with each other, as well as some of our sponsors and our colleges, so they can ask all those questions that they might not want to in a large group tour or a large group setting. The junior breakfast will be a light breakfast, buffet style, kind of walk and talk kind of atmosphere. The senior banquet will be a formal banquet with students sitting down, but it will be a hot buffet meal for those seniors. The junior breakfast will be first thing on Monday morning. It is open for an extended period, so students who are competing can still attend the event after they've competed. Senior banquet is immediately following the second general session. We will not have any shuttles to and from any hotel or the mall this year. We did have some issues with our mall shuttles, with students maybe shopping a little too late and being left at the mall or not arriving at the correct location to be picked back up. So in an effort to keep our students at the conference and safe right around us, we are starting a program called Downtime in Downtown. The CVB is working with local businesses that are right around the hotel, some restaurants and shops and things where students might be able to get a discount of some sort, or there's a special deal for them as a member of our conference right in downtown. So there are several restaurants that are basically bordering the hotel and a couple shops as well that we're working with. So that will be an activity for our students. We will be staying in Springfield at least 2017 through 2019, waiting on 2 final contracts, and I'll send all that stuff off to the board, so I won't share the details yet. But we have some very exciting changes for 2017 through 19 that we're really, really looking forward to in Springfield, and I think you all will appreciate as well. We have updated our competitive event schedule. We will be starting our competitive events just a little bit earlier than last year. Not a whole lot. No one's going to have to be showing up 2 or 3 hours earlier for their competitive events. But we will be starting just a bit earlier, and that's going to allow us to space out our events a little bit more, where we don't have a full slate of events starting at the exact same time on Sunday morning, so that we can ensure that all of our judges are in place and that they receive adequate training before starting a next round of events. So do count on events starting just a bit earlier. but nothing extreme. We also replaced all of our folders. So they are actually very nice plastic pocket folders, and they all have sheet protectors on the inside. So things will be a lot more permanent. We'll have to do a little less replacing. Plus, they're just far nicer to give to a judge. So we're really excited about that change, and I appreciate Taylor Liebert, who is a PBL student at Truman, personally labeled and stuffed all of those folders for us. So big round of applause for her. We're also expanding the College and Career Fair. So there'll be even more booths. We're actually moving it over to the Expo Hall. So our students will have a lot more room to spread out and engage with those colleges at the College and Career Fair. On to district and state registration. Since it is through the same system, we'll kind of go ahead and train you on that aspect as well. We'll once again be returning to IMPAC, which is a subsection of our national database. So most information automatically pulls out for our advisor, so it makes it much, much easier. For the most part, it was extremely successful last year. We all had our learning curves figuring it out, and the little quirks, which we couldn't anticipate until it had truly gone live and we had 30 or 40 chapters registering at a time. But for the most part, it went really, really well, and we got good feedback that it was much easier to get registered for conference. Select all students and events via drop-down menus. It does prevent too many teams or too many students from signing up for certain events, which is great, and any upper level student from signing up for a 9-10 event. Yes, Jill, earlier on Sunday is what I mean when competitive events will be starting, but not super early by any means. So I'm going to go kind of through a step-by-step guide. I did make this available to our advisors today. So the district registration and payment page are both updated and live right now. Now they cannot register. That link isn't available for them yet, but you can go ahead and download a guide to registering with all the information. So I'll walk through. They're able to, through this little guide, there's all the competitive event information, charts, worksheets, and everything for our advisors to download. Now, all of this is available on the competition tab and under our competitive event resources as well. But the links are in this guide if they want to go ahead and pull them up without having to search for them. Registration opens on December 1st, and it will close on December 11th at 5 p.m. As a change to this year, you don't actually have to be paid until the dues eligibility deadline. You just need to be registered in the database in order to register for competitive events. Now, we will be running a check this way then on January 13th when payment is due to pull all of our unpaid members at that time and send those notices to advisors. So please, please, please encourage your advisors to go ahead and get their check requests in as early as possible so that those funds can come out at the December board meeting and can be received by the state office by that January 13th deadline. Advisors need to make sure they're also listed as an advisor in the national database, because if they want the email communications for the conference, they do need to be listed as an advisor. Whichever advisor registers the students is the advisor who will receive all the email communications regarding districts, and that includes testing keys and our production prompts for our skill tests like spreadsheet and Word. So make sure and let your advisors know whoever wants to receive that information needs to be the one who registers the students. If they're not, they just need to know that they're going to get that information and they need to forward it on to whichever advisor is going to be responsible for that. Now, we can always re-forward those emails, but it does make it much, much easier if they're correct at the beginning so nobody's waiting on information. So there is a link that goes to conference registration. It can only be accessed via our dedicated link. You cannot access it on your own, like by logging in to where our advisors put in membership. So they do need to follow our dedicated link. They log in, though, just with their chapter name, our number, and their password, which is always service. The system still has the little glitch where if you've recently been logged in, that it doesn't like it. So you might have to log back in. a second time. There's absolutely nothing we can do about that. The best thing to do is truly just log back in, or you can clear out the cookies on your computer or close out of your web browser and bring it up again in order to avoid that glitch. You select register for this meeting under FBLA DLC. And at that point, it brings you up to an advisor screen. And that's the first step to registering. LCAs, yes, you'll all get that information. I pre-typed the email, so it's ready to go out tomorrow about districts. So you can actually just click these hyperlinks over here on the list of advisors, and it will pre-fill in everything for you. You do have to select your district. That is not auto-populated. So they will have to select their district. Make sure the email addresses are correct at this point, because if the email is wrong, everything's going to go to an incorrect email address and it will bounce back for us. So please ensure that those email addresses are correct. You can always hand edit them, even if you click the hyperlink and everything else is correct. Step 2 is registering advisors for the conference. Again, we'll be charging advisors the $10 or the $10.60 if paying by card. That did solve the financial problems last year, and it's going to let us keep district registration at $10 because of that bit of additional revenue that comes in from advisors. Once again, if your district has the funds, you're more than welcome to return that to them in the form of a gift card or paying for their lunch at the conference, however you want to do it. But we do need to maintain that advisors pay for every conference, just like the students. You can select years as an advisor, which is very, very nice for us to kind of compile data. Yes, all the registration steps will be sent to all advisors, but we do encourage our LCAs to reiterate points with our chapters. Thanks, Carrie. So to register an advisor, you simply just click the registration box, fill in the number of years, and mark if it's your first time attending the conference. And those are just little bits of data that we're able to collect for outcome measurement purposes. The next step is registering students. All you have to do is check the boxes next to the students that you're registering. Under registrant type is where you select check or credit card payment for that member, and it's important to make sure that that's accurate, and you can confirm all of that at the very end on your confirmation page, but making sure that you select the right type of payment because it does bill you differently. You do have to confirm the grades. They are auto-populated. However, if a grade is incorrect, you can change it here in case you forgot to advance somebody to the next grade. And then you can select competitive events. Students can take 3 events to DLC. Any event that they're not taking, so if they're only competing in computer apps, you just need to mark those other events as non-competitor. They can't be left blank or anything. It has to say non-competitor. You have to go through all pages of your students. It does them 10 at a time. And after those 10 have gone through, you'll just advance to the next page, continue until you've made it through all of your students. At that point, you have to build teams. This is a very, very important step, especially when we're uploading information into TFI. You do have to make sure your team meets the minimum requirements, and the events that have minimums are listed there. And that's important because the system will not let you put that in if your team doesn't have the correct number of students in terms of a minimum. So for these events, there does have to be at least 2 members on the team in order to process registration. The next step is guest and chaperone registration. Our guests are free, advisors are not. So if you're a chapter with multiple advisors, all the advisors do need to register for the conference and pay the $10. But if for some reason, if your chapter has, or your school has rules regarding faculty to student ratios and a principal or a career center director is joining you, those are free of charge. They do just need to be hand registered in the system here. You don't really have to do anything else. It's automatically plugged in as guest and it won't bill for anything. Guests do not show up on registration confirmations. We're the only ones who get the registrations for guests. So do note that you will not have that information on a confirmation, but LCAs, we will tell you how many guests are attending so that you can plan how many people will be in attendance at your DLC. The next step is reviewing registration. It will put an update on all your contact information. So once again, making sure the email is correct is important. Then it will list all advisors and students, and it will show what events the students are registered for, as well as the cost associated with that. So you can see check payment or credit card payment. You can use the little hyperlinks that say edit to go directly back to those sections and fix anything that is wrong. And then at the very, very bottom of this page is a button called Finalize Registration. And all you have to do is hit Finalize Registration. And if you've done everything right, it will process registration. It will send you an automatic confirmation email. We currently don't use documents to download. We just put everything up on the website and do the step-by-step instructions. But it is possible at some point we'll start using those. But for now, that section still remains blank. And then we will include notes on everything as well. And you can see down here, and this is still last year's guide. I did not take new snapshots, but registration is non-refundable after it closes. And then it also directs you to customer support, which is actually the phone number for Impact. And if it's a technical problem, Impact can fix it, or you can contact me via registration at Missouri FBLA. And I can help as well. Advisors can change and modify their registration, which is the best part of using Impact. And that's through 5 p.m. on December 11th. They log back in using the exact same link. The difference is it won't say register for this meeting anymore. It will show what you've already registered, and you can go back and view registration or add people. And this means you can make full adjustments to registration on your own. I don't have to do it. It's all through the local advisors. Yes, Sandra, you may register chunks at a time if you'd like to. You will get a new registration confirmation each time, but it does always include anything that was previously registered. So you're more than welcome to work in little chunks through registration. I do highly recommend that as well, because if you made a mistake, like you registered too many kids for business plan, it will not let your registration go through. And it means you will have to go back and try to fix it. And if you can't find your mistake and you have to close out or it times you out, you lose everything you did. So going through in chunks is very, very handy. And we'll include that in the email tomorrow so our advisors know that as well. But it is important that our local advisors know they can always make changes to their registration as much as they want through 5 p.m. on December 11th. Advisors do receive a confirmation email that includes basically all the information that they entered into the system. So it'll show which advisors are registered, which members are registered, how they're paying, and what events that they're in. Anything that is misspelled needs to be corrected in Impact before registration closes. So that means if you inadvertently switched first and last names, you need to call the national office and have that fixed. I do not have the power to fix that, only they do. And once registration closes and I disconnect it from Impact, those names are stuck the way that they are, because that goes into a mass scoring system and a million documents, and I cannot change it. It auto-populates way too many things for us. So those need to be fixed in advance. The national office is not always the quickest at doing that. So I do highly recommend chapters go through their registration and make sure all the names are correct in advance. But there's nothing that we can do to fix it at that point. This does also include event information, and it tells our advisors when the tests are, when prejudged things are due, when their performances are. Everything like that is included in these confirmation emails. We recommend our advisors print it, tattoo it on themselves, put it in every single room of their house and in every single inch of their classroom, so that it's got all those deadlines on it so that advisors know when things are due. We always hate when we hear students didn't take a test or didn't submit something because they didn't know. So we really encourage our advisors to print that information so they have that and they remember when to take care of everything. Now, last year we did, or this year we have adjusted the deadlines where testing starts still very early, but it does go through a little later through the 20th, and prejudged stuff isn't due until the 13th of January. So it does give our chapters, for the most part, a week after coming back from school to get all that prejudged stuff in. So we're hoping that alleviates a little bit of stress on our advisors, as well as stress on the state office, because coming back to 1 million documents being uploaded to WUFU is not fun. It does also include a link to the payment form. We do require everybody this year to submit a payment form. Last year we considered these official invoices, but now that we use FreshBooks for all of our credit card processing as well as all of our check entering, we do need a FreshBooks invoice for everybody. So they will need to take care of completing a payment form. It's very, very simple. Again, you just select the number of students paying by check or credit card, your name, email, submit, makes an invoice. Simple as that. And you can see the payment form right here. That is truly the entire payment form. I know it's very, very small for you all to see, but it is live online already. Just a couple of questions and you are done. We once again do collect the bookkeeper contact information for any questions regarding checks. So it is important to put that information in and not just an advisor cell phone number, so that when Julie reaches out to somebody, especially our larger school districts that submit all of the chapters in one check, that we're able to get in touch with the person we need to. So that is it for registration. It's truly, we just hit copy meeting. So it's the exact same registration form as last year for districts. State will add a few extra questions, but nothing too crazy. So do anticipate the exact same system and flow for district registration. Both myself, Lori, and Julie are all on hand to help our chapters get through this time. Last year we had 10,400 registrants, and we anticipate growth at districts again this year. So we're happy to help however we can in getting students registered for the conference. As I told you all in LCA training, and we've sent out an email to our advisors several weeks ago as well, that district sign-up worksheet is very, very important in us assisting our chapters, because we don't want pictures of Post-it notes and chicken scratch on papers as we try to help our advisors fix registration. So we do encourage them to plug the students into that worksheet in order to make it easier on us to help advisors, as well as ensure that there aren't too many students entered in any particular event. I think Debbie Stevens had emailed me. I don't remember if you're on this call right now, Debbie, but I think you are. That is available under the competition tab on our website, and you can download that. And it's also in this email that's coming out tomorrow about districts, so they can download that form again just to start plugging kids in. So on to a few more updates for you. District Grading Day, it says cost last year. It should say 2 years ago now. We're not doing statewide. We're once again doing work with PBL. The 4 chapters that have agreed to help us this year are Southeast Missouri State and Cape Girardeau, MU in Columbia, MSU West Plains, which is one of our PBL chapters we brought back this year that's got a lot of growth and activity going on, as well as Truman State University in Kirksville. So those are the 4 chapters that will be helping us this year. I am working on getting dates confirmed. I've only got 2 of the 4 right now, so I'll let you know as soon as I find out the dates and our LCAs can start selecting which grading day they'll be interested in attending if they're available. We do strongly encourage you, if you can, and we'll take care of your fuel and meals for that to come and assist us in grading. But it was much quicker last year to do it that way. and it was far more affordable as well on us, so that we don't have to eat the cost of a mass district grading day again. We are going to streamline that a little bit more. We got some awesome feedback. Some of you might be on this call that gave us some feedback about ways to improve those days. And we're working on that to ensure that every student is graded as fairly as possible and by competent individuals. I will be at each of those. And again, we hope that most of you can be at them. We're going to be doing 1 to 2 events per location. The focus is on getting those skill events done early, or the focus is getting the prejudged events done early, because those come in on the 13th, and we will be doing our MSSU did not offer to assist us this year. Sorry, Debbie. And then after the 20th, when we have our production or skill events in, we'll focus on getting those graded at that point. So I will send you all the information on grading days as I get the last 2 dates from Southeast and Truman. And if I hear something from MSSU, Debbie, and all of those around the Joplin area, I will let you know, but we haven't heard anything on if they'd be interested in assisting. PBL is still going to be getting their stipend. Last year it saved more than $15,000, which was awesome to help us continue our cost savings for districts so we can maintain our $10 registration. Yes, if you have another advisor at your chapter, you are more than welcome to bring them to district grading day, and we'll send out like an RSVP form so you can do that. The dates will be January 14th through 23rd, so they're a little later than they were last year, and that's because the prejudge deadline is the 13th, so we'll be ready to grade on the 14th, as well as all of our skill events not being done and ready until the 21st. We'll also be getting tubs and medals to all of our advisors at this time. We will mail them to you if you cannot get them. I also promise we won't run out of district medals this year, because I ordered 20,000 of them, and they will all be arriving by the time we'll need to start grading our events. So no worries on that this year. Competitive events, a couple changes for you all. Graphic design and publication design, which used to be digital design and promotion and desktop publishing, they're both prejudged, and top 5 or top 8 perform at your DLC, however you do it, if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever it may be. And then we did bump social media campaign down to you at the district level as well, just because we had 67 entries at state, which we did not anticipate. And remember, we did take network design and management information systems and bump those to straight to state events. So you only have 2 new performances, but we took 2 away, so it shouldn't cause too much commotion at the district level. A couple other questions that we've been getting, and we get it apparently every year. There is no topic for public speaking. It is business nature relating to FBLA PBL goals. Job interview, once again, it should be for a job that the student is ready to do at this point or at the end of the upcoming school year, so May of 2016. No false information. And Merit Corporation is still a fake corporation. So if you find something called Merit Corporation, using information from it will not help at all. Straight to state events might cause a student to drop an event if they win at districts. So make sure advisors know that if they do sign up a student for 3 events at DLC, and the student wins all 3 events at DLC, and they were working on a straight to state event with a couple other students, they're going to have to make some tough choices on what they want to do in regards to that. So make sure that everybody remembers that there are only 2 events per student at the state leadership conference. So factoring straight to state events in early is important. And we did get confirmation from the national office that publication design is now a 1 to 3 competitor event. So if you remember, desktop publishing was a team of 2. Publication design is 1, 2, 3. So it's just like every other team event in FBLA. We will be providing you all with an Excel scoring chart this year, which should help you out a little bit. And I'm going to actually show you that live here so that you can see what it'll do, and then I'll send it all off to you so you can kind of interact with it. It does determine rank for you as well as who gets medals, which is really, really nice. It does not break ties for you, so you will have to do a little bit of hand checking, but it should make it a little bit easier on you in terms of getting those scores in. And let me pull that up for you right now so that you can actually see it. Let me find it here. That is not it. All right. So this is the scoring document that you all will be able to use. We will make an individual customized one for each of our districts. So what this does is you're able to enter the student information on here, and we'll try to pre-populate that in for you based on who your top 8 are. And we'll plug in, or we'll send you the objective scores that you can plug in, or any prejudged scores that you can plug in. And then all you have to do is type in your judges' scores on here, and it will actually automatically total the score based on the weights. And it will rank everybody and tell you who needs to get a medal at your district contest. So on this, say a student gets an 84 on their objective. They get a 37, a 38, and a 39. It does go ahead and weight those scores on the Executive Council approved method. So do not play with this little section down here because it will change that. And it will rank everything and tell you if the student gets a medal or not. You do need to fill in multiple things for everything to work properly. But you can see the different types of events, such as ethics, with a prejudged score, 2 judges, so you type them in, and it does automatically average all of those scores for you. So we've done this across the board for all of our events here that you'll actually have performances for at districts. Anything that's objective only, you'll have to go ahead and compile based on the scores that we send you, which of course they're already ranked for you. We encourage you to go ahead and start a winners list. We made a tab for it, so you can go ahead and start typing out your 1st through 5th place students for those objective events. And then you are able to, by hiding tabs and just pulling the rankings 1 through 5, you can actually just copy all that information directly over into a winners list for those performance events that are on site. So it should make your life a little bit easier. I think Carla had made something similar in the past. I could not for the life of me find anything, so we just kind of remade it to make life easier on you. You don't have to use this if you've already got your own Access database or you've got your own Excel document that you want to use. That's perfectly fine, but this is available to you if you'd like it, and I'll get that sent out to you this week so you can kind of play with it a little bit and see exactly what or how this works. I will just caution you all to be very, very careful on the formulas because it will change the weighting if you mess with certain fields. And I'll try to tell you which fields not to mess with in the email that I send you. But hopefully this does make your life a little bit easier at your district contest in determining what you need quickly. Because I know it's very crunched for time getting everything processed in one day. So hopefully that helps you out a little bit. And lost my PowerPoint. So at this point, if you all have any questions or concerns, you can text those to me. I know I have multiple questions sitting um, in my text here, and I'll try to shoot you those in an email because some of them are pretty specific on things that you have questions about. My work computer died today, so I have been without a work computer all day. I can't access a whole lot of my files to tell you all stuff at the moment. So I'm just happy I had this on my flash drive to get through this session. So I'll try to get that stuff to you tomorrow when I have access to our shared drive and all of our files again. But if anybody has any questions regarding district registration, the grading days, or that Excel, I'm back. Um, Sorry, everyone. Disappeared on you. But happy to help with anything that I can. So feel free to shoot me text messages. Yes, I can protect the cells. Um, so I can protect those cells on that Excel document for you so you don't have to worry about accidentally editing them. Um, just don't put somebody who knows Excel too much in their room because they could take that off. But otherwise, please just feel free to email me. You can always give me a call right after this as well, and I can help you out a little bit in getting ready for districts. But again, I'm missing all of my files at the moment. So it's been quite the struggle today just to get by using web-based Outlook. So feel free to give me a call or shoot me a text if you got any questions. And otherwise, I appreciate you all taking a little bit of time out of your day, and we'll see you all at our district grading days. Thanks.